Welcome to Marsha's Plate. This is an interview episode where we talk to friends, family, other community members, and anybody else we want to talk to. Hey brother, hey sister, hey sibling, how are you? Hey brother, hey sister, hey sibling, how are you? Hey, how you been doing? Just checking in today. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl Diamond, and I'm really excited about this episode because I've been watching this person for a while now, and it's just their energy is so dope, and I just been excited. I've been asked her, and we finally made some time. And so I want to introduce y'all to Aaryn Lang. She is a writer, a speaker, an activist from Ohio who has dedicated her career to advocating for the rights and well-being of Black trans people. I love watching her because she's dope and she's fly, and her mug sits. I live for her mug. And I also love that, those are superficial things, but the deeper things is that I love that she is thoughtful about what content that she puts out. She is bold. She has a strong point of view. Sometimes I disagree. Sometimes I totally agree. Usually I totally agree. And she doesn't relinquish her foot off the motherfucking necks of our oppressors. And whether it be the whites, whether it be the cis folks, whether it be the men's, punks or not,
Anybody.
the straights, whatever, she
Okay.
definitely always keeps her foot on their neck, and I absolutely love it. So I want to introduce y'all to Aaryn Lang.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. Hi, Marsha's Plate audience. Thank you for having me, Diamond. Thank you so much for having me. I know I've told you this before, but I was literally watching you like bald-headed with 5 o'clock shadow quietly in my room, like getting into your old videos. I don't know how many videos are available now or who was there, but you were literally one of the pioneering Black trans women on YouTube for me. So for me, I'm very thankful that you have me here, but this is a major full circle moment for me because what was the I wanted to say it, I can remember. What is it? He came on the bus, he left on the bus. It was something.
Yeah.
Your stories. Me and my mom were literally just watching your story. I think I told you about this, about the dude you met out like in public who like took you to his mama's house and like you disclosed. And my mom and I were on the edge of,
Meet the video's called Meeting the Man of My Dreams.
yes. Oh my gosh. Not only did you look so fucking stunning in that video, I could literally watch that. That could be a lifetime movie. But yes, I say all that to say thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you today. I've been looking forward to this.
Thank you, thank you. That affirms me. Thank you for affirming my work. And
Of
it
course.
it always gags me when somebody says, especially if they're super young, because there are people who will say, I started sneaking and watching you when I was like 13 and they
Okay.
grown now. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel super old. But thank you.
Yo, you had a video about douching.
The joys of anal douching.
They showed it at like a community center I was at. Like one of the girls was like, let me play this video for everybody who isn't aware. I just remember you being like titty and like it was just so I was like, I don't know what she's giving, but I live. I'm tuned in.
So tell me about your background. Where did you grow up? Tell me about your
Okay.
family unit. Who was like loving on you as you were growing up?
Oh gosh, okay. Where did I grow up? I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. I was born in Mansfield, Ohio, which this is really relevant because Mansfield is like a super small country Ohio town. And then Columbus was like, for my family, like, oh, this is like the city. Like you're moving into Columbus in the city. I've lived in New York. Columbus is also a small podunk town to me. But I grew up in Columbus, Ohio with my mom and my sister. Who was loving on me besides those two? I would say my grandma, my aunts, my uncles. Whenever we saw them, it was love. But it was really just the classic trio, as we call ourselves.
You're an only child?
No, no, no. So it's me, and I have one older sister.
Okay.
So my sister is 6 years older than me, even though she is smaller than me. So she's like my little big sister. But yeah, so it's just us two and my mom.
So I grew up in Indianapolis, so we come from
Okay.
Midwestern
Yes.
roots, and it's where, yes, when you're comparing it to New York, it's a small city, but
Right.
I think the culture in the Midwest is kind of unique. And what was it like growing up in a place like in the Midwest?
Mhm.
What was the atmosphere? What was the culture like for you growing up?
Mm, country is the first word that is coming to my mind. I don't think I thought of it as country, but when I think about growing up, I see outside a lot. Like I'm seeing trees, I'm seeing ants, I'm seeing bees. Me and my mom were just talking about how we haven't seen like a dandelion. The white part of the dandelion that like used to go everywhere. Like I don't remember the last time I saw one of those.
I
But
just literally wrote a song called White Dandelions, and
oh
it was
wow.
it was because when I think of that, when I think of there's a moment in my younger years where me
Uh-huh.
and this boy I had a crush on was blowing white dandelions, and I was using it as a euphemism for giving him some head for the first time
Oh,
in
oh,
my in our
okay.
in our youth.
That took a
But
turn.
that is it's two things that I was talking about, and it was I think it's because of the pesticides that they use on lawns,
Uh-huh.
and not seeing a lot of the white dandelions and white dog poo. When I was younger, dog poo on the ground would turn white if it was there for a long time.
Oh, okay.
I
I thought you
hadn't
were saying
seen
it
it.
was coming out white because I was about to say, now
No.
where in Indianapolis was you at? What was, what was going
Like
on?
now, dog poo don't do what it did. I don't know if the ingredients is different, but it
It's what
was,
they eat, and I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I like when I think of growing up, I just think of outside. I think of you said who was loving it. I think of my cousins. I was really close to one of my cousins growing up. He was like 3 years, well, he's still 3 years older than me. He always had like the new video games. He always had like the fab toys. So he was like had a little attitude problem, but it was cool because he would let me watch him play his PlayStation sometimes, and he would be nice to me for like 3 hours consistently sometimes. But I loved him. Friends, like art, those are the things that I think about growing up. It was the 90s, the early 2000s. I was watching a lot of TV, which I think if you watch me or talk to me for any extended period of time, it's like, okay, I can gauge when this bitch was in front of a TV because all her references are coming from like 98 to like 2003. Um, but it was fun, I guess. Like looking back, I think especially as I meet other adults and meet other people's parents and learn about people's experiences, I'm like, I had a good childhood. I think I could say that. My mom, single black woman, sometimes she had a really short pixie cut, so she was carrying. But hey.
So tell me about like your gender journey.
Oh
What are some
God.
moments of realization that gave you like the most clarity about your gender identity? What does that journey look like coming
Oh
from
gosh.
boyhood or however you
Yeah, yeah.
call it?
You know what? I'm comfortable with boyhood. I don't now, and then I'm comfortable in the context of this conversation. I don't want no heifers coming up to me like, so tell me about your boyhood. That's a little too comfortable. That's not what I mean. I think in my journey so far as like an adult, as a grown woman, I'm able to look back and love on that little boy, even if that little boy wasn't fully sure that they were a little boy or understood what that really meant. Like I'm able to look back and see the lessons that I got from that time. And I love little boy Aaryn. I think I'm currently in an era where we're like communicating again. But two of my earliest gender memories, they all end with me being reprimanded in some way. The first one was I remember I told my grandma. Now my grandma was like 5'2", like big titties, hips, just body, like bad. My grandma was in bust downs before I knew bust downs existed. My grandma kept a long blonde unit, down her back, blended in the front, just fab. So of course, if I'm a little tranny and I want to tell somebody, I'm telling my fab as grandma. I told
Period.
my grandma. I remember like it was yesterday. We were on her stairs. I told her I wanted to be a girl, and she slapped me across the face. And I remember gagging because she like slapped me across the face and then kind of was telling me why I didn't want to be a girl. Like the slap is I remember the slap and the pre-slap. After the slap, it gets a little dizzy. But the second one, I was playing with dolls with my cousins. These were like my contemporary cousins. We were playing dolls, and I was living, of course. Like we're having the time of our life. And afterwards, they go and tell on me like I was doing something wrong. So when I look back, I'm like, I've always been me in some way, shape, or form, but the people were not having it with me. I don't think I revisited gender variance. I don't think I visited again until I was out of high school. My mom was, shout out to my mom. I love my mom. My mom was a gender terrorist to me, if I'm being honest. I would say I was heavily surveilled in the realm of gender by my mother because I think my mother knew, you know, who I was and what was going on. Of the earliest memories I have of my mom, just to kind of paint how insane she was about like how I expressed myself. I used to wear those like hats, like the winter hats that have like the little like tassels hanging from them. I had fell in love with this hat that had like two tassels on the top and two hanging. And they were selling longer versions of the hats in three colors. It was like gray, um, like burgundy and black. And they were long, like the little tassels were like long. When I tell you, my mama bought me that black hat and took it upon herself to cut the tassels shorter and rebraid them because they looked like hair. So that is how I was like, you stopping stuff that I ain't even thinking twice about. Like she like you're not about to be walking around looking like Wednesday Addams, not on my watch. So I didn't feel safe to explore at all. Like I was afraid of my mom. I didn't want to like people would say they were doing sexual stuff as I wasn't. I was in the house. I was with my friends. I was playing video games. I was on the computer. I wasn't doing that. But after I graduated high school, I was a little pudgy in high school. I ended up losing a bunch of weight and getting skinny. And when I got skinny, Krishan's fucking not Krishan Rock, but Krishan. Do you remember that song Gucci Gucci Louie Louie Fendi Fendi Prada? Okay. Okay, so this was a particular era. So Krishan came out with this song and she had the fabbest eyeliner I'd ever seen. So I said, baby, I want to start trying to wear eyeliner. To my mom's shock and horror, that would be the beginning of what led to this, me today. I started with the eyeliner. Then I slowly started moving into, I remember I went to her house one day. I had on like this, it was like a pink floral shirt. I used to dress like my like gender, like whatever, looked like some mix of like Fresh Prince and like a little ass kid. Like it wasn't really cunt yet. It just was like pushing back against whatever. So I went to
Monkey
her.
Brewster.
Yes, very, very much so. So I went to her house dressed like Punky Brewster, feeling just fab, right? I think I had like a fitted on and everything. My mom lost it. Like, where did you get this from? It was like a short, like beige, like overall set or something. And she lost, where did you get that from? She said, are these women's clothes? I was like, no. I was like, I bought them. They're my clothes. Like, they're not women. I tell you, she was hollering and walking around the house and care like these are women's clothes. You are cross just carrying. I was like, now I came to hang out with you. I don't even want to sit with you no more because this was your entrance. But we have had our whatever. But she
Did
has
it
come.
have a religious context or just a
My
flat
mom was
gender?
My mom was just late. I'm not even gonna, and she knows I would call her late in this time. So it's okay. She was just a late black mama. Like I don't know, I don't know what it was. I think some of it was fear. Well, she has since said she was so scared. And I think another piece is that my dad's oldest sibling is a trans woman. So my mom she grew up with her, and understood like the plight of trans women. Like she saw her get kicked out of the house. Like she saw her have to fight every day. So my mom did have, it was late. It's also like, no son of mine. Like it was some of that in there. But I think there was a lot of like, there's nothing in the world for somebody like that.
Mm.
Like, and I think that was something she didn't have language for, but she was trying to protect me from that. So I ain't giving her no high fives for it, but I understand it now. But it wasn't religious. My mom has always been, our family is religious, but my mom is kind of like the odd one of her siblings. So she's always been spiritual, but not religious in any way that was like meaningful to her or anybody else. I
I
hope.
always tell people that in me growing up, there was a lot of people who were not churchy, who were not, they wouldn't call themselves religious, but I would say y'all are culturally Christian. Y'all,
Yes,
y'all
yes, for
do a
sure.
lot of the culture shit and believe a lot of the stuff, but y'all ain't
Crying
going to
gospel
church
music,
and
all of it,
speaking in
right?
tongues and shit. So,
Yeah.
did you know your aunt, your trans
Oh
aunt?
yeah.
Even growing up, like I'm talking about,
Well,
like,
growing
sometimes they can be
up,
distant.
so I have I have one memory of her growing up. And it was her trying to get my mom some boosted clothes. Like we had went to see I see it like so clear. She was like sitting in the middle of this couch. My aunt her like go-to Gilda is like a jet black bob. So in my memory, I see her in the middle of this couch with this jet black bob, like trying to get my mom some clothes that she boosted, and my mom being like, girl, it's okay. I don't want them. And then another memory I have of her, I was older. She had came over our house for something, and I was like a teenager. And I remember I walked up the stairs, and she was in that iconic bob, sitting in the kitchen, and I was kind of froze, like, "What's this bitch doing here?" But I'm like, hi, and go back, and like went back to sit down. A few years ago, she was like, I knew you was a tranny. She was like, that's why you ain't, that's why you ain't want to say nothing to me. She was like, you was scared. I remember you looking at me in that house. But I didn't know her in any meaningful way grew up. I just knew I had a tranny aunt. And this is before I've become trans lady Aaryn Lang that is advocating for anything. So I'm like, baby, I don't want to talk to my tranny aunt. I don't want to be seen with my tranny aunt. It was like I had no desire to even build that relationship as a youngster.
How did you evolve? Like, how did he evolve into the clear binary woman that you are? How you go? Because you go from, you say, Punky Brewster, da 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 da
No,
da.
it was a journey. I'm picturing the looks. How did I get to, if I'm being honest? So there's all of the shit I just said, but then there's the through line that's happening internally where I don't necessarily see myself outside of how I see myself right now, right? Where it's like I have the intellectual understanding, but it was always cunt in the brain. And I think as I started getting older, I was trying to make sense of like, on the inside, I feel a certain way, but it's not possible. Like for so long, like for me, my aunt was not like a successful example of somebody being like living their truth. So there was nothing about my aunt's life that I was like, oh, this is a possibility for me. I really thought I was gonna be like a gay dude. I tried my fucking best to be a gay dude. And one thing about gay dudes, which is why please, gay dudes didn't want me. They didn't want me pre-transition or anything because another factor that I guess I'm leaving out is my body, how my body developed. Like I was like, I had titties. Like I had gynecomastia. Like people was making fun of me for growing titties in middle school when like girls were growing titties and I'm growing titties and shamed. Like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I gotta hide them, whatever. I even tried to get them surgically like taken off. Like, but the doctor, which I now understand was the universe being like, girl, quit playing with me. You're a tranny. You're gonna live for these titties one day.
Period.
The doctor was like, she doesn't seem distressed enough about this. Like they really wanted me to go in there and like faint. Like I can't live another day like this. And I'm like a teenage boy at the time. So I'm like, I mean, yes, it's bad. Then he had to like take a picture of them and everything. They were like, yeah, this is not impacting you enough. But with that being said, I didn't have a body that was like, even when I got skinny, I remember I sent this dude like a nude of me and he was like, I'm not into that. And I was like, I didn't know I was a that to not be into. Like I like I was like, what is it that I'm doing? And I realized I had titties even when I lost weight. I had like they were nothing to my divas today, but it was, they were just little ninners and it was not congruent with how I looked. So I didn't really have like a moment where I got to be a dude and enjoy it. It was like I saw like the girls. I read Redefining Realness. I was like reading and watching the girls, and I was like, okay, this is possible. The girls can be themselves and live and like be successful. And it kind of just, I guess it snowballed out of there. Like once that testosterone and shit started getting put in the background, I was like, oh, bitch, I'm cunt. Like, it was like, I was like, this is how I've always seen myself being and navigating so I don't know. I don't think it was as big of a like internal transition for me as it may have seemed. Because in
Mm,
a lot of ways, I feel like that's how I've always acted.
yeah. I think that way too. There wasn't some big drastic change. And
Hmm.
even my mom would confirm this too. It's like it's she was like, "Yes, of course you are wearing girl clothes in a way you didn't wear, but as far as who you are and how you navigate the world,
Yeah.
that never changed. You are still, even my cousin would be like, you laugh the same. You got that funny laugh that you still have. You
Uh-huh.
like many people who see me even after years say like you have been super consistent, and I was like
Mhm.
and they would say like that is the proof that you were born how you are to me. Like
Yes.
and
Yes.
maybe when I was younger I didn't think about it, but now that I'm older, you've always been like this, and that'll be something
Mhm.
that affirmed me to them.
Yeah, yeah. I remember because my mom, like, she went from being late in the past to being like my champion. My mom told my grandma and all her six siblings what it was and was like, y'all gonna respect my baby or we out, right? And what she told me, like, that my grandma said was like, you never had masculine features. And I was like, wow, you slapped me across the face, Effa. You still giving me my tens now? And my grandma ended up before she passed, may she rest in peace. She literally said to me, like, you strong, like, like my grandma turned everybody kind of turned it around in their way. And for that, I'm really thankful. But they were telling me, like, I mean, it's kind of wild that you're a tranny, but you kind of you had the look. It makes sense. Like,
What are some like community or relationships outside of your family, or even like personal resources that were around that kind of affirmed you outside of your family? Were there teachers? Did you go to the gay club and meet some other trans people? Like, tell me about that journey in regards to building your tribe.
I feel really, really lucky in that regard. Like, I didn't necessarily have teachers like affirming me because I think for a lot of people, I probably seemed like gay or something. Like, I probably seemed like I was gonna marry like a white girl or something. Like, so I don't know if people fully got what was going on. But my friends, two people that are coming to mind, my friend Adam and my friend Ripley. Adam is the first person I remember ever even hearing genderqueer from. Like I was like, Adam, what you talking about? We was in middle school and Adam was like, genderqueer this and that. And I was like, you're full of shit. What you talking about? Because I was late, just like my mom, I was also a late piece. So I'm like, this shit is not real. Um, Fast forward to Ripley, we had gym together, and Ripley was probably there was somebody I went to middle school with who we later saw each other, and I was like, I knew you were a trainee too, like work, because you were a trainee in middle school. There was that person, but then Ripley was like the first like gender non-conforming
What
trans
year
person.
was this?
This was, oh girl. This was like maybe like 2008, maybe 2000, yeah, like 2008, like 2009. Don't be trying to figure out my tea, everybody. That's why I be trying to keep dates obscure because bitches will come like, bitch, you ain't even been doing this, blah, blah, but whatever. Fast forward to Ripley. Ripley had like micros. And Ripley was like body, like I didn't know if Ripley was a girl or a boy. Like I literally was like, what's going on here? And we ended up having gym together, and Ripley was like, are you gay? And I was like, excuse me? Like, what are you talking about?
Just like that.
No,
Excuse
literally.
me?
I was like, what? But it was probably way, way more monotone than it is now. Because she used the key like Ripley, get out of here, Ripley, whatever. So I was like, no. And she got me to admit that I was bisexual, which is hilarious to me today. But um that began like I remember her bringing me like Ripley was caring looking back like because I had a crush on a guy in our gym class, so as like she started digging I started like giving her more tea. I remember she brought me like a bunch of like gay porno magazines like Get Your Life, and I was like, wow, this is like history. Wow, this is amazing. But our friendship ended up going on to like we're still friends today, but we ended up like living together. And oddly enough, I'm the reason she finally transitioned because I was like, girl, I pulled her into my room one day, like, girl, I think it's about to be a big shift coming. I was like, I think I'm taking it. I'm jumping out the window, sister. Like, and at the time, it was like I remember I had seen Bailey J, the porn star, and I was like, wow. Like when I'd seen her body, I was like, this is the first time a body resonates to me like mine. Like I was like, I feel like I never see bodies that I'm like, I see myself in this body. And Bailey J was giving titties at the top. So I'm like, Ripley, come in. It's the titties in the top journey. Like this is what it is. This is what I'm doing. And she disclosed to me, like, girl, I was trying to get hormones 5, 6 years ago and stopped and da da da. I was like, well, bitch. I got my appointment. Come on or get left. So we both ended up starting our journeys like at the same, our official like medical journeys at the same time. So I was pretty lucky. I think I was like a force in my friend group, not to like whatever, but like there were things that I didn't think about because of, I guess, my position, but I was lucky to be surrounded. Like we were all like weird, LGBT, nerdy, like it was all of that going on. So I was really lucky to have the like friends I grew up with.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So, not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts, I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community. And I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to do resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money? Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show. If I had to say if there was like one thing about your gender journey that you wish more people like understood or appreciated, what would that be?
I think that one thing that's come to mind is mine. It's individual, that my experience, doesn't negate, or even affirm anybody else's. It's just my experience. And I think another thing I would say, I think today I this feels more like pertinent to me than ever. It's like I'm a black woman. Like at the end of all of this shit, that is my gender journey. I am a black woman. Yes, we can add all these attributes and things like that. But at the end of the day, I have gotten very comfortable in my position as a black woman on this earth. And that is something that means something to me, and something that I'm not going to forfeit just because of the journey that I've had.
I think for me, I have this. I used to sit in a position where I felt like I'm in my younger years, teens,
Mhm.
early 20s. I would be like, hey, I know that this is alien to you, so I'm trying to stand on my soapbox to teach you about what's going on with me. But what
Mhm.
I had to realize as I got older in my lived experience, but also me observing other people, is every motherfucking body is going through a gender journey. And while my
Mhm.
journey may be crossing genders and however that looks for
Right.
me, you still are going through your own gender journey. If you're a cisgender person, you are
Yeah.
still how you fit into how the world sees the gender that you acknowledge. Like even if you are assigned female at birth and you that's what you want to be, that's what that
Mhm.
affirms you, you where you sit in that binary. If the binary is on the if this side of the binary is woman and you fit here, where exactly do you fit? Are you a little bit more butchy in your either
Mhm.
your presentation or your persona? Is it a little bit more
Yes.
butchy? And then the physicality, is your body given broad shoulders, little hips, and you actually are a
Mhm.
cis woman? And how are you navigating that gender being built like
Gagging.
that?
They're gagging.
Yeah, clearly when we get
They're
the
under
just
our
hilarious.
comments like, fuck you, nigga. That's how they coping.
We got the just hilarious, and we got the girls who
Good.
are navigating height and whatever, however they don't
Me.
fit
Me.
fit into whatever shit like that. I had to realize that we are all going through this kind of gender journey. And so for me, it was me undoing expectations for myself too. Because even in my younger years, shit that I loved, once I transitioned, I started to like push it away, like
Yes.
even for like video games, like even of course we
Yes.
know multiple people
Right.
play video games regardless of gender, but because it was so associated with my boyhood when I was younger, I
Mhm.
started with Atari, Nintendo, Super
Okay.
Nintendo,
Okay.
GameCube. You get what I'm saying? I was a video
Yeah.
gamer, and
Do you
it
still
brought
game? Do you game now?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. Okay.
And it actually brought me clout and friendship with boys. So I always
Yes.
associated with
Okay.
even my stepdad, he would steal video games from me. He made sure that I was the blue boy in the neighborhood at
That had the
8,
game.
9, 10 who had the game. So yeah, I might be queer. They might, but if they want to come over and play all the games, they
Mhm.
got to be nice to you. So it was my way, his way of bonding with me, and also my way of getting guy friends. Like it was just something that I had.
Do you think this is totally like off, but do you think men have a different sensitivity to, like, I know there are men who are like, who carry on little queer boys, but I also feel like I have seen a lot of men kind of try to, like you just said, like circumvent some of what happens to the queer kid. Like, do you feel like men all have like a different understanding of like little trans kids, like little soon to be trans women? Because I feel like there is something there.
I, if I'm to be honest, I think they're queer. even if they're not queer, like accepting and
Right,
and identify as gay. I think whatever, and when I say queer, I mean other, and not
right,
necessarily
right.
sexuality. Sometimes it is. I think
Hmm.
that they too have a queer experience that they navigated as a youth, and they want to make sure you're protected for some of the harms that they got from it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is what I have been thinking that because I feel so much like I think specifically I'm black, so I think about little black boys.
Right.
I feel like the experience that trans women have is much more universal for little black boys than black men would admit. That kind of toughen up, that kind of you a man, like that has a similar, it impacts people similarly, even if the destination isn't the same, you know? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that is something that you have the what we buck up against. You have the patriarchs who is like, I
Mhm.
want to toughen you up. I
Right,
want to put a
right,
football in your hand. I want to punch you in your chest. Stop acting like
right.
a girl. You have those types,
Mhm.
but you also have the type that I may not be reading it as gay. I might read it as gay, but I know
Mhm.
you are a different kind of kid. And so I'm not going to be the violent. I'm not going to be the violent
Yeah,
patriarch. I'm going to be the patriarch that give you tools.
yeah.
I'm gonna give you some boxing lessons that I'm not going to punch you, but I might teach you how to fight because I know you probably going to have to fight because I may have been a nerd.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to affirm that it's okay um, for you
Who
to
you
play video
are.
games
Oh,
and
okay.
not be into football. You can
Yeah.
be into science. You can be into music. You can be into these
Mhm.
things. And I'm not going to force the gay label on you just because you're different. Because I
Yeah.
remember, all the men
Right.
who had that kind of mindset, Mimi, there was something about them that was outside of the box of typical, especially I grew
Right.
up in the late 80s, early 90s. So because of that, there was a certain gangster masculinity that was kind of
Mhm.
like the niche black male
Yeah.
iconography. When they were outside of that, when they were nerds, when they were the Dwayne Wades, the from different worlds,
Yeah.
when they were
Yeah.
the Overtons and
Mhm.
even the Carl Barkers a little bit, when we have these
Mhm.
stereotypes of
I would say Kyle over Overton because Overton was working mechanics and stuff.
yeah,
Kyle was
but
getting called a faggot.
yeah, yes, they still were kind of they were outside of the box of that gangster hood.
Yes, that's very true.
You get what I'm saying? They were
Yes,
the type of men who thought about how they engage with women and
yes,
still were straight and blah 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 blah. So
yes,
when
yes.
men were outside of those kind of gangster boxes, sometimes they kind of affirmed you in a way that said, "Let me give you some tools to know that it's okay to be who you are,"
Yeah,
and and that could look different based on
yeah,
all the men. So
yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, work. I've been wondering, that's like it's quietly like a little thesis for me too. Like because I feel like there is so much, I feel like we get so hung up on transness and what you were saying, I used to say to people like demystify transness because y'all are getting hung up on this like crossover thing, like you said. But I was like, the way you walk, the way you talk, like these are your gender. And we didn't come out like you learned that swag in your walk from somewhere. Like you learned how you talk and how you enunciate from somewhere, and that makes you feel like yourself. And I think there's so much like I think there's so much meat and treasure for us as people when we don't just focus on like sensationalizing the trans piece alone, you know?
And it also you're missing out on the fact that we have navigated this world on both sides or the sliding scale however we do it.
Girl.
And so that relationship, you're missing out on that because you're too focused on just the Oh my God, the sensationalism of it and the
Oh my
novelty of it when you're not totally actually seeing, look, I've navigated this world as a woman, whether you think I'm a woman or not. I have navigated this world where I'm seeing a unique vantage point that you might can get something from me so
God.
you can understand why you having tension and weird ass relationships with women you or
Yeah,
weird ass relationships with men because
yeah.
I'm seeing some unique from a unique perspective how you guys are relating with each other because of how y'all are relating with me.
Oh my gosh, Lady Gaga has a song called Art Pop. And one of the lyrics is a hybrid can withstand these things. That I love that line so much because to me that's Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean also has a song, Chanel. I see both sides like Chanel. So these both are in conversation for me around what you're saying because it is true. Like we have a fuller kind of viewpoint of, I would say, the smaller parts of the genders, right? Like you can understand, because I think there are some women who genuinely don't believe men feel, or have access to emotions in the same way. You can speak to that to a woman. You can speak to that to even a man. Like, nigga, I know what that feels like, I know what it feels like to try to do something and it fails and you look like you can speak to that. And with women, to men, you can also be like, she's not just carrying for no reason. Like, you don't understand the things that women are navigating literally 24/7. Like, and if you did, some of the rage you're getting, some of the like caution you're getting, you might understand it more. Like, we really can speak to a fuller human experience. And I think, honestly, I think that is what our societal role is. And I think this moment, if we're talking about the tipping point, I think this moment is breaking me up watching it get just reduced to these kind of like petty genital arguments and just bullshit because I really do believe trans people who are really willing to align themselves with their expression that is differing from, the population. I just feel like there is something powerful that we have to teach humanity to move forward. And I'm so sad that I think it is being missed because we also have to fight so hard to survive within this system. I just wish there was more space for us to really explore, I think, just humanity and humanity in relation to the planet and humanity in relation to life, all over. I just wish there was more space for that. I wish transness was not a topic that people closed up when they heard, and it was one that actually just inspired us all to open up and explore more. The what's the Hopeless Romantic Society? He said something so beautiful. I was like, I think I want to make out with him. He's like a gay man, but it was so beautiful what he said. He said trans people make me know that God is real. I was like, whoa, like pull your dick out. Like you need something from me because this is so beautiful. Like you need a reward, sir. He was just like, because being taught that like manhood and womanhood are these inherent whatever things, trans people come and show like this could show up in any type of body. Like if that is not proof that there is just more going on here, which is my big thing is like, can we just all agree it's a lot more going on here than any of us understand? Can we start there? Because everybody is so comfortable with it being matter of fact. But his whole thing is like, if trans people can come and assume our genders and be beautiful or whatever while we're doing it, like, God is real. Like, God is more than these rules and these stipulations and all this pain and violence that we enact on each other. Like, there's a lot going on here, and trans people are representative of that. Like, wow, huge. I wish we could take it there, but we arguing about bitches having babies, so it'll never happen. But
But also, I think why it feels like it will never happen I think because it's returning back to our ancestral ways. I think that there is something about our history that if you look at the history of like the Dogons, and this not just African history, but even indigenous people here, even indigenous people in other continents, there was a lot of people who saw us as being closer to God
Yeah.
because of our experience on where we sat on that binary of male and femaleness and man and womanness, and they respected us and saw us as these spiritual shamans. And so
Yeah.
because of that, I think because of the breaking, when I think of us of them trying to push white colonial ideas of like the family unit and what man and woman is, just a patriarchal idea that, yo, you are the king of your castle and you have your woman and you have the children and da 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 da, all this kind of bullshit.
Mhm.
Yeah, all this kind of dumb shit. I think that us breaking that side of us and them
Mhm.
trying to uphold this, I think that we are a casualty of that brokenness. And I think to get back to,
Mhm.
we are
Love that.
representing of getting back to that. So
Yeah.
like you gotta snuff us out.
Agree. I agree. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, we talking that shit now. Yes. I definitely feel like we are closer because it's also proof in how hard they work to erase us, how hard they work to confine us. Like I do think when they talk about this transgender contagion, I think we're representing source to people.
That's
People are
what it
like,
is.
wait a second. Like we are essences, like inhabiting these fucking flesh suits. Like this is not the end all be all for us. And the more that trans people get to exist and flourish, because it's the flourishing. I don't think that is the thing that has changed. People want to ignore, like trans people have been getting thrashed like forever. It's the flourishing that is new. Trans people who are allowed to say out loud that they are trans flourishing is flipping this shit on its motherfucking
We
stomach.
got rich ass bitches with mansions
Okay.
and chateaus
Okay.
and
And big titties and
condos,
ass
big titties and ass, and black and unapologetically black
and
trans women, and they're out
beautiful.
here on platforms with Beyonce, with
Hmm.
it's just the flourishing absolutely is something that's like what, but it also
That's the
is,
shaker.
it's the shakeup, and it's also when we think about, if you can have the power, like we're in America, so we there's a racial lens that is always at the forefront because of we're American, Black American, and but always remind people that patriarchy is way older than racism. The racial battles that we are dealing with is way older, and so if we take the power, and I'm not trying to make us seem like um what's the word, the ethereal,
Oh, ethereal.
ethereal.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to make us seem ethereal because I think that that's kind of ableist and can make us feel like we're not human if we got this kind of
Right.
mindset. No, no, no. If we just if we have the power to say, "Yo, I'm gonna go totally against this patriarchal shit, and I'm gonna spit in the face of you're saying that I have the patriarchal rights just by birth, by being born with a penis, that I get the spoils of the land if I just go. And if
Mhm.
I can have the power to say fuck that shit, fuck being at the top of the total, top of the hierarchy, blah 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 blah, and say no, this is my journey." That
Mhm.
just that example. If I can do it on this level, you going against your parents when they want you to be a lawyer. You
Right.
going against you
Yes.
going against whatever you're going against. It's easy. It's made simple because look at what I'm going against. If
Yeah.
just being an example of that power shakes up
Mhm.
everything, shakes up these
Yes,
politics, shakes up Israel,
baby.
shakes
Yeah.
up everything. Church, it shakes up everything, the foundation of everything. And I think that's what people don't like about us. We are the example of you do not have to follow the script.
Yes, we are the example that we come first. That, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm like, Did the gender identity show up before the human, or was the human here and the gender identity followed? We show that the human was here first. And I believe with evolution, are you into aliens or anything like that?
Kind of.
Okay, so forget that. I didn't even say anything about aliens. But I just believe with evolution that humanity's gender journey is far more expansive than we even like to spend any time with. I do not believe for a second that, Adam and Eve was dropped on the earth. I believe something crawled up out that water and something crawled up out with it, and they started making more something or others, and somewhere along the lines we got to where we are today. But how that has looked over time, I don't believe for a second that bitches was coming out, in high heels and petticoats. It's just not how it was. This is some shit that is happening to humanity, and I think
You
even with
remember you remember on Jurassic Park when Jeff Goldblum he was describing something, one of the old Jurassic Park, like the first one.
okay, I
He
was about to say
the old one is he
probably the
dropped
first one.
is the very first one. He was making a point of how things evolve, and it's
Yeah.
just something can just be chance. He took a drop of water and put it on his on hand, and one of the drops went this way and one of the drops went this way. He was like,
Mhm.
it's just different ways that it could go, and
Yeah.
evolution could be like that. Is you don't know how we came up out of the water, as you say,
Yeah.
and one thing switched it, and this species went this way. We look at
Right.
the bonobo and the chimpanzee, that
Yeah.
there was something that happened that separate them to where one side of the culture is matriarchal, even though they
Yeah.
both primates and look almost similar. But this
Uh-huh.
went to where this has become, because the water separated them, this became a matriarch, and this became a violent patriarch of the
Yeah.
chimpanzee. They're more into loving and having sex and causing
Baby.
and
Baby carry.
and being fish about it. And then these more is fucking violent and patriarchal and horrible. So
Right.
and it's just because that by chance this thing split them apart. And
Yeah.
so I think you're totally right. I think that those are the chances that our life takes. And even now we see people, these small little things change the course of human behavior, course
Yeah.
of human advancement, and we are seeing that in real time. But I also think it affects back in the day too.
I just wish we could talk about transness fully. Like I think that is just because I feel like this is so much more interesting than just focusing on like the hair and the how people look and all. Like it is, and we gonna focus on that too, because we do got a gatekeep. It's Karen out here. But at the same time, I just wish we could talk about transness as like a human nature thing and just have a larger conversation about humans. I keep saying like this is the first time in history that we have life documented like this. Like social media, like we can do a real deep dive on humanity right now in a way that I don't think we could have, maybe even 20 years ago, because everything was so sectioned up and sected off. There's so much to learn from ourselves and our history. And I hate this. I just hate this anti-intellectual time, this anti-philosophical time where people don't want to sit in the fucking grass and wax poetic about our becoming and our evolution. I wish it didn't have to be so contentious, and I wish we could talk about it um, in the beauty, like in a realm of beauty, in a realm of exploration of life and human nature. That's one of my big, I think, heartbreaks about the trans conversation.
So you kind of touched on the gatekeeping. Um, we're seeing a lot of
We'd
these
be remiss.
to not discuss that. We
Yeah.
see. A lot of these weird ass cases coming up. We see the Lily girl going to the bathroom in the Disney bathroom to make a moment. We see the girl at the Go fiasco, the lesbian and the black lesbian and the white barely passing
Yeah.
trans woman or people that we see the trans lifter being apparently exposed to be trans and
Oh,
this
yes, the strongest
the
woman in the
strongest
world.
woman who actually got beat by 1 point, but she won by 1 point.
A single fucking point. I was like, y'all, we're not about to do this. A single point, pay it.
So what is your mindset about these things? What is your mindset about, what's going on and why do we need to gatekeep? What's your tea?
I think we need to gatekeep, because when I first started working in movement, there were very few places where Black trans women had a runway to succeed. There wasn't this huge conversation about Black trans women and thriving. We fought for that, you know. And now I see people. I'm naming names. I'm gonna use Jerome as an example. Jerome Trammell, who for me is the perfect example of how, like, what happens when you leave the door unlocked. There are people who see being trans as advantageous to their life right now. That is because of the work of Black trans women. When I first got into this work, four, well, they weren't all Black, one of them was white, but four trans women have been killed in like an 18-month span in Ohio when I started my work. Samaya Dove was buried, um, like I can't remember what he is, to a cinder block. This dude stabbed this girl like over like 17 times or something, tied her to a cinder block and like threw her in this little river or lake by his house. They got her, he got arrested. Chernobyl had to go to right. I mean, we gotta talk about all of it.
The
It's
thing.
been a lot has gone on. Chernobyl went to the funeral and she was being dead named at her funeral. She didn't look like she lived at her funeral. Like that is my entry point to this work. That is my entry point to talking out. So when I see a man who might put on high heels from time to time, might paint his nails, arguing with actual trans women who are at a completely different level of danger than this person is walking around on any given day. I can't even remember when I see that, I say no. We're not about to play. I understand that everybody has a gender journey, but there was no point for men who wore lipstick or high heels. They weren't organizing around their deaths. They weren't organizing around how they were getting fired just for being who they were. People had already done that work for gay men. The girls were being denied, can still be denied, housing, jobs. I literally, here in Ohio, was trying to apply for a job. I gotta go to the credit people and get my stuff to reflect my name because my dead name still shows up on my credit report. This man was so nice to me, about to help me move, like not about to help me move, trying to like get me into this apartment. He did my credit check. He did not say a single word to me again. This is somebody who was very polite, very kind, very charming, all of these things. Did not say a word to me. This was in 2023. The girls are still being denied opportunities for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This strongest woman thing, they said she hasn't spoken, she hasn't said anything. I was like, God, I hope this lady is okay. Because you at the strong woman competition not getting clocked. You win. They didn't put out an alleged fucking porno thing that you did, which I'm sure you had to do for survival because you're a giant fucking tranny. And nobody was gonna just give you a fucking break. So you get naked and do what you gotta do so you can eat. They bring all this shit up. She hasn't said anything. It's like the girls are still experiencing direct violence for being trans in public and trying to live their life. I do not have the space for people who just want to say they are trans because they have an intellectual understanding of transness. My new working theory has been, and I pray I'm this is all coherent enough. But my new working theory is that people who like the oh gosh, this is so let me clarify also. I believe non-binary people exist. I that is not a conversation I'm having. There are people who are playing trans. And I don't mind saying, bitch, you're playing and you won't play with me. I I I have seen what happens to the girls. Like I said, my aunt is one of the girls. My aunt is crying at my grandmother's deathbed because she loves my grandmother. My grandmother kicked her out at 15 because of who she was. My whole dad's side of the family openly disrespects her and doesn't call her by her name. She loves them, happy to be around them. This is the experience of the girls. Faggots putting on high heels and arguing with trannies about transphobia. I don't give a fuck. You don't need to organize around this. The girls wouldn't be organizing around this stuff if we didn't have to. So I gatekeep because there is a difference. There are differences. When we are sitting on this call, there is a difference. Your plight, my plight, your plight is different than even my plight because of when you came up. I just feel like this desire to to hug everybody and to make everybody feel like they belong, which they do. I think it's leading us astray. There is nothing safe about being a trans person. There is nothing easy about this journey. So when we allow people to play in our faces as if this is just some, oh yeah, I decided I'm going to be a tranny one day. It's like this is life or death for the girls. Jerome fucking Trammell arguing with me, and there are trans women under his post. Like, your transness means so much to me. I'm so sorry. I'm like, bitch, this is a man. This is a man who is pantomiming shooting at me, one of the girls who has actually, and I'm not one of those, y'all don't got to blow smoke up my ass, but we ain't about to pretend between a me and a Jerome fucking Trammell who is out here fighting for the girls, who is out here with the girls in their mind. It's not Jerome. I think there is a group of people right now. I see gay men and I see straight cis women who I believe they are too intelligent to be outright transphobic. They know too much to just be transphobic. But how they work it is I'm trans. So I believe transness is bullshit. That's what they're not saying. I believe transness is bullshit, but I'm too smart to just be a fucking late ass transphobe. So what I'm going to do is adopt trans identity and dare y'all to question me about it.
Mm.
And guess what? I'm a question your ass because my aunt was getting kicked out at 15. So she was a tranny. She didn't have all the accoutrement or whatever, but they smelled it on her, they saw it on her, and her whole life, just because of who she is, she has had the traditional trans experience, kicked out of the house, forced into sex work, drugs, prison, all of it, just because of who she is.
Now, wait. So let me give you a little bit of pushback.
Come on, push back.
Be,
We talking.
right, because I feel what you're saying sounds like Angela Stanton when it
Now
comes to
now you really got to back me up into that because Angela be carrying. So tell me how I
so
sound like Angela.
so when you say that there are these standards of what trans women have gone through, her talking points is always there is a standard of what cis women have gone through there, that of women have their version of woman has gone through,
Mhm.
either making babies or having periods or being born a girl. That is the standard of what she considers a woman. And so here you
Mhm.
come without those standards, without those experiences, and you want me to accept that you are a woman, you got a tallywhacker, you got a da 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 da.
Mhm.
What you're saying, your logic
Mhm.
sounds the same when you are applying these rules about trans womanhood to not be Jerome Tramiel. It
Right.
feels the same. It feels like it's the exact same thing.
And guess what I will say to that? It may feel the same, but it ain't the same.
So why not?
It's not the same because Angela Stanton King is allowed to feel how she feels, right? Angela Stanton King, what she say don't make shit over here move. When I'm in the street, Angela Stanton King's opinion about who I am don't have no bearing on a motherfucking thing. When Jerome is in the street, that's Mr. Jerome Trammell. That's the difference for me. And I'm not saying you need to be on moans. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is why. Why are you up here taking up so much space? Why do you need to be in the middle of this conversation? If you are trans, like you say, take your tranny ass on somewhere and be trans and live your life. Why, when you know you have no markers of transness on your body whatsoever, and you don't even feel the need to put yourself out there in that way. Why the fuck are you in the middle of a trans fucking round table? Why? That's my thing. So I can be pushed back against. But baby, I also am going to push back because I need you to tell me why.
So
Because I know bitches that don't want to have to say who they are in public because they just want to live their life. Why, with you looking and living like and being like a man, why do you need to be in the forefront of this conversation?
So
Why?
it sounds like what you're it's a similar analogy would be if somebody like Angela saying, even though she's saying no, 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 but if
Yeah.
somebody, a cisgender woman said, we are having a conversation about reproductive justice. Bitch, you don't have any ovaries. Why are you centering yourself in this
Yes.
conversation? You
Yes.
should, well,
And
yes,
guess
you may be a woman, but you are not, you shouldn't be centered in this conversation. And so what
yeah,
you're saying is that similar to that, where this is a trans film conversation. And why are you here when you're not experiencing life like any of the trans films?
that's the nice version.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to
Because
guess.
it is more in alignment with it is that because it matters. It does matter. I'm not going to. I know I can't have no damn babies except for times where I'm really in my deep training shit and I feel like I can. Okay? I know that, right? If I am not going to push the narrative further, the narrative that is already being pushed in a positive way, right? I don't need to be in the middle of this conversation. I just don't. And it's not a bad thing for somebody to say you just don't because you're coming in here and you're not helping. You're not fucking helping. You
It's
are
what
in
we
here.
expect from light-skinned girls. It's what we expect from white women. It's what we expect from cisgender black men. Sometimes
Which
the
is what he is.
we expect them, like, if we're having a conversation about colorism, you should not be centering yourself, light skinned girl.
No,
If we're having a conversation about white supremacy and how it affects women, white woman, you are the most privileged in this conversation of the women, so you can't center yourself in this conversation. Cis men, we're talking about racism and you're not experiencing it on the level that we are, cis black men. Sometimes you got to check your privilege at the door. Is that what
it,
you're saying about these kind of
it's
non-binary people?
It's about responsibility. That is, thank you. It is about responsibility. Where is your personal responsibility around this? Because you know so fucking much and you got your degree in every fucking thing. Why don't you know enough to sit your ass in the audience? And like I said, I am not arrogant, but bitch, I will not be played with. Jerome, why do you feel like you can say something to me as if I'm transphobic for saying, I got some questions for you being here? Why do you feel like that is your place? That is what I want to know. See, to me, people are too comfortable just letting people come up. I'm not.
Do
I
you
got,
have the same grace for cis women who feel the same?
what do you mean though? But wait, before we get into this, because what I don't want is, I am very okay with, I don't affirm that Jerome Trammell, who is my example, is a trans person. Jerome Trammell, from my vantage point and from his socials and everything, is a gay man. So for me, the conversation with me and Angela Stanton King and me and Jerome, these are not the same things because I am a woman every day of my life. I am a woman. Me and other women, cis or trans, we can argue until the cows come home because we're women. Jerome is not in this conversation for me. That's my thing. I don't have a problem with a bitch that look a little like, hey, whatever. I didn't look a little like whatever. But you come on here looking like Tracy Morgan, I have questions. I have questions because I, my entry point to my work was through Black Liberation Movement, baby. You gonna get questioned. Where did that get lost? And you posted this nigga posted a video about to me. This is similar to I saw a autistic woman, a woman on the spectrum. I don't know, whatever. She had like it was very visible. It was very in her body, whatever she was navigating. She talked about how now quirky bitches that don't like to wear fuzzy socks is the face of being autistic. And then bitches like her walk around and they throw this bitch in the fucking insane asylum, lock her up. That's what this is. How I have a question for the people. How is Jerome Trammell any different than motherfucking Angela Stanton King's ass? Because he's walking around being a nigga and saying he's one of the girls. Like, I need more smoke. I need more smoke. I need more interrogation for people like that. Because people still, the like progressive cis people are uncomfortable with transness. You know this. Even people who are comfortable with transness are uncomfortable with transness because it's a huge thing to consider. It is a huge thing to consider. If we are who we say we are, who am I? That is a huge thing for people to consider.
And we are coming from a place, and when we talk about Angela and we talk about somebody who navigates the world looking like a regular black man, we are coming from a vantage point. They are coming from a vantage point of privilege that we are not. And so if and
Right.
and so, Angela, you are a cis woman. I'm a trans woman. You are the one that are gatekeeping me out of womanhood because of the privileged position that you are. Just like a white woman, you're not a real that. Just like white women do to cis black women, like
Mhm.
you are on the higher end of the because of white supremacy, you are on the higher end of access to gatekeep me out of femininity.
Yeah.
You are in a privileged position, and you are not dealing with the same shit that we are dealing with because you are navigating the world as a butch queen. When people look at you, they see you as a
That's
butch queen.
what you
So
are. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this so I know your role. So I ain't gonna ask you to do nothing different. That is a butch queen. Like all this, somebody who walks the world looking like what the fuck you is? A man. You ain't non-binary on them fucking apps. I guarantee you that. You wasn't non-binary when you was getting fucked, Jerome Trammell. That nigga has a chin strap that he is getting freshly edged up. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not. I get it, but I am not playing with y'all. This I know for sure. Jerome Trammell is not a non-binary person. If we're just going off the definition alone, you ain't non-binary. You could put Jerome on a door and people will go in there to piss in urinals because they'll assume it's the men's restroom. I'm not playing with Jerome. So I will hold the line because somebody has to hold the line. Because 10 years from now, if we don't hold the line, it's gonna be a roundtable discussion with trans women. And it's gonna be a bunch of niggas on there. We gotta hold the line. And I also, even with cis black women, I told you my grandma on her deathbed, Diamond, affirmed me. And I'm not being dramatic. Like my grandma used to say sissy, unironically. Like this is not this is not a lady who was trying to be progressive. She was like, she told me before she left this fucking plane, she said, it never had anything to do with you. Like if I misgendered you, like this is what my grandma felt the need to tell me before she left this plane. That it was never personal. She didn't have no problem with how I was, that I was strong, that I survived on my own out in the world. Black cis women are my sisters. Black cis women, my mother is a black cis woman. I love my mother. My mother loves me. My sister is a black cis woman. I love my sister. My sister loves me. When I'm talking about black women, I'm talking about my sisters. That's cis and trans. These are my sisters. And Angela Stanton King, she is not the end all be all of that for me. I come from somewhere. I am standing in a line of women in my bloodline that see me and feel proud. Like, I am not walking around, I don't need bitches to affirm me. I've been affirmed, and I'm holding the line because I've been affirmed. Jerome Trammell and his ilk are not trans people. Boy George, fucking Grace Jones, Prince, Michael Jackson, all these people have existed. And they're not even as cunt as these people I'm naming. Like, let's keep it a bean. You know, I'm keeping it a bean because for me, this ain't games to me. Not saying, not insinuating it is for anybody else, but for me, this is real fucking life. And anybody who sees trans people flourishing and thinks, well, let me say I'm trans. I let a friend of mine borrow. I gave her. And I ain't rich or nothing. In 2020, I don't know why I had so much coin. But my
Because it was
friend was
2020, bitch. We all had a coin.
my old friend was online. This is a cis black woman. Is online talking about how she don't got no food for her fucking babies. I sent her $1,000. Do you know the next day she posted on her Instagram if she was trans, her fundraiser would get clear? I sent that bitch $1,000 the day before. No questions, nothing. And what was on her mind the next day is if I was trans, I could get cashed out too. This is
As
why
if as if there wasn't trans broke bitches, trans starving bitches, trans bitches who don't have access to housing because they cannot
literally,
afford it.
literally,
Who GoFundMe's are on empty because
literally,
nobody is supporting it.
literally. And I'm like, girl, I know you. You my home girl. We don't talk, but your babies are in need. I got overflow. Girl, please. That's because I know what it's like to be in need. I know what it's like to get help. Like I understand these things. Is so serious to me. And I also feel like all of us came up with bitches who like, no, I don't see it. You gotta make me know it. Why do these fucking niggas in chin straps and goatees, why are you any different, bitch? Make me know it. You so fucking cunt. You're such a fucking tranny. Show me, bitch. And then
And
they say
I
I'm
want to say
transphobic.
this. I want to say this. When we talk about holding the line, and I'm just for the sake of our conversation, I'm sharing I'm old school. Y'all know I'm old school. So I think a different way. I don't try to. I just don't feel like I'm not arguing with no non-binary people, because I feel like it's a waste of time.
Well, yeah,
Um,
I'm not either,
yeah,
but I
and so,
will argue
but
with your mom.
when Aaryn says I'm holding the line, and I like I
Mhm.
just said, there is a parallel with cis women like Angela said, who says I'm holding the line too. But I want to call this out because this is a
Mhm.
difference. Holding the line does Aaryn holding the line against somebody non-binary, like I don't want to keep saying Jerome because it's not just Jerome, it's other people who are playing
I know, but
that
I'm on
role
Jerome's ass until
because y'all
2020.
had
Yeah,
some history.
yeah, yeah.
Aaryn, because of her position of power as a black trans woman, she doesn't have the state and the church and the apparatus of white supremacy, apparatus of patriarchy to support her to harm Jerome.
Oh no.
Angela holding the line does have patriarchy and white supremacy
Yes,
and the state behind her to harm us when she holds
literally.
the line for womanhood. That is to me, while I'm making the point to show to kind of point out the parallels, I'm also going to make the point that there is a place of privilege, there is a place of power that Angela as a cis woman holds, and Jerome as a
As a
person who's
cis
being
man holds.
that the holds that we don't. And so when we hold the line, it does not cause as much harm to people that them holding the line can.
Because, because what? Like, let's be for real. What am I keep? What is me holding the line keeping Jerome from? Because Jerome, I guarantee Jerome is not non-binary on Grindr and jacked and black and all of those things. I guarantee that. I guarantee he's like this. Mouth is non-binary on them apps, but he's not. Like, what are we keeping Jerome from? And that's like how you differentiate it is perfect. Because I think of people like J.K. Rowling. It was all fun and games until the bitch started influencing legislation. Like
Right.
we ain't out the woods of the tipping point. If we being frank, Laverne and her shit is because Laverne is tap. She got to do some tap dancing too, because we losing the 15 minutes of give a fuck. We ain't out of this shit. And if it went back to bitches not being able to keep jobs, bitches not being able to do nothing, you think Jerome would lose a motherfucking wink of sleep? I don't. You think Jerome would give a damn? I don't. Not for a second. Like, people have died. Like, people have lost their lives to this shit, to standing up for life. Like, this is just, it's, if I didn't feel like I had to, I would, this is not even something I wouldn't even care. Like this is real stuff. I see my friends. I see me. I see what this fucking administration has done. I'm like, do you know what it feels like? I know you do, but I sometimes am talking to people like, do you know what it feels like to have the literal president of your country say, my first order of business is eradicating these people? And that's just a Tuesday. And I'm supposed to suffer Jerome Trammell and his freshly fucking shaved up chin strap and fucking Caesar? When they looking for trannies, I guarantee you, literally pop, 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 pop. And he gonna fucking say, oh, being a man was so good. Why did you say a man, love? I was like, see, ain't nobody listening to him but me, I guess. See, because you should have got slapped for that, right? Because you being funny. Because you got bitches behind you that's gassing you up. But y'all didn't hear what he just fucking said. I love the girls. Like when I tell you I love the girls, whether we get along or not, because I understand what it takes to sit in your truth. It's nothing simple about this. And then to be beautiful and to be intelligent and to be willing to stand. I know that. I love the girls deep. Like, I'm not fucking playing with Jerome. I want to see Jerome outside looking a fucking key, going in between laser appointments, trying to find the right makeup shade, trying to whatever. There's nothing. You ain't risking a fucking thing. I don't give a fuck about Jerome. Jerome better go and get that motherfucking aftershave spray and rub down his fucking edge up and his chin strap and quit worrying about what the fuck the girls are talking about. Because you're not one of the girls. You're not even one of the boys. You're not even one of the theys. You're just a nigga that people, and my theory is also he must be in charge of some resources. I was like, this nigga must be signing something because I ain't seen this many bitches with brains running after some foolishness in a long time where wasn't no reward in it for them. It can't just be his goofy ass regurgitating shit that he didn't heard the girl say. There's got to be something else that he provides to the community. He don't provide it to me, which is why I'll say with my whole chest, fuck Jerome Trammell and his ilk.
Oh gosh.
Because
Anyway, I
you,
don't want to sit to Jerome.
the only reason I'm only using him because guess what? I don't like negating people's shit. I don't want to point out a bunch of people and point, Jerome for me, he should have asked about me before he said something to me. So Jerome got until the clock strikes 12, January 1st, 2026. If something come up, he's my example. Because if you had any respect for the girls and for the plight, you would know. I'm not gonna say nothing to this bitch.
Okay.
You are playing. So for me, it's responsibility is first. Where is your personal responsibility to this community that you claim to be a part of, one, and claim to love, two? Where is your responsibility in understanding the optics? You
Which
don't
is
need to be in
particularly
front.
egregious because you are saying that you love us and care for us, and you don't care for us enough to even go sit your ass down in a conversation that you really don't have nothing to do with in regards to
Hello, and
that
don't
you are
got
not
that.
impacted by. Whereas Angela don't, she ain't even pretending to give a fuck about us.
And I don't got no problem with Angela. Hey, Angela be reading. I don't have no problem with her. I think people feel like that. It's people who feel like that. And it's not something that is necessarily gonna change. Like, but
Right.
Jerome, I just think it's so dangerous. And I think it can be used to silence genuine feedback and questions. People throw that transphobe shit at me, I'll be that. If me asking questions is making me a transphobe, baby, I'll be that. I don't got no problem with that. Why are you doing this? Where's your personal responsibility? Why are you in front? These are questions I ask myself because you have to. Lauryn Hill said on that fucking Def Jam stage, check your motives and thoughts. Why are you here? That's what it's about for me. And I never want it to be misconstrued. Like, I don't got no problem with non-binary people. I don't got no, baby, do you? Hey, everybody live your life. But when we're talking about really pushing humanity forward, when we're talking about really changing the conversation, I need to know why you're out here. And it's not just about looks.
You know what it reminded me of, what you're describing. It reminded me of how I felt. This is an old example. I
Mhm.
remember, I don't know if it was 2019 or 2020. I don't know when it was, but I remember when David Johns was on,
On Breakfast Club.
not just Breakfast Club.
Oh.
That was an example. That was an example. Yes, that was one
Mhm.
moment. But then even after the pushback of the Breakfast Club, when we pushed back and said, "Why are you even here?" He went on the NAACP's platform for
Mhm.
T Door, and there the video of him talking about Tidor just by himself, talking about Tidor. And I'm like, you are a whole butch queen. Why would you take up this space when you could say, let me bring a trans woman in here to discuss the exact same thing that I'm coming, but you didn't even, you say you care about us, you care about our issue, but you didn't even care about enough to us to give somebody else the space on their platform. Literally, it's not like you brought trans women into
Right.
the fold. It was literally only you having a conversation about Tidor,
Hmm.
transgender day of remembrance, and it's just you taking over their platform talking about our issue. It's like it that's what it makes me think, like
Yeah.
how offensive that was, where it's like, what?
Yes. Yes. Am I? Yes. I also am like, people do not have a history of having to, like, when you really think about it, people do not or have not had to really respect trans people. Like, most people you deal with are not going to say, I had a trans supervisor that I had to be on my, P's and Q's with. Most people are not going to say, well, my friend's mom was trans, so I learned about pronouns and how to be. Most people's relationship to trans people is that we are beneath them.
From a
Most,
position of power.
yes, that is like, I would say that's 98% of people's relationship to transness is from a position of power and privilege over us. These are things you got to think about when people who are not trans want to occupy trans spaces, want to be in front. People have they don't even know how to be comfortable in their body getting feedback from one of the girls because you are nothing. Like people who can get laughed at in public by children, we are nothing to people. Like that is where this is coming from. Like for me, it's like you got to pay attention because people will disrespect us and say that it's in service of us. Because
So
who,
I don't see your humanity enough to, or not just like that. I don't feel the culture says I don't have to respect you. So why do you think I need to respect your spaces?
literally, you're nothing. This is all a fucking joke. You're all a bunch of fucking insane ass men and women playing dress up. Like we are not so far from that. And for me, that is why I'm like, I wish we could really talk about human nature and we could really have an expansive conversation about this because most people you talk to do not have a history of having to look at trans people as equals, let alone a trans person that might have influence or have something to teach you or you have something to gain from. Like that is not a lot of people's experience. These are the things that have to be taken into account. When people are like, I can get life from being the cis dude talking about trans shit. Shout out to the fucking doll protector, because I don't like them either. I got something to say about all of this shit. Because y'all think there is something fab about this. Y'all think the girls are out here because it's fab to us. No, the girls are just fab because we have thrived against all odds. So we funny, we're beautiful, we're charming, we got fucking encyclopedic knowledge of current events and pop culture because we are consumers just like the rest of y'all. Like we are, I just it's love. I don't ever want the girls to get it twisted. I'm your cousin, I'm your auntie that I love in a way that means I might cuss you the fuck out. Cause I give a fuck. I'm not about to all the girls come running in and there's somebody like, he who shall remain nameless right now. What's going on here? I'm that cousin. Who is this? I want to know. And they gotta tell me. Because it matters to me. When I see the girls, I see something beautiful. I see something powerful. I see something that should be protected, something that should be gate kept. Like because it's black womanhood denied, but thriving.
Mm.
Like like I ain't playing. I'll spit in Jerome's face. You know,
All
like
right.
I know I gotta quit saying his name. Just bleep his name out. But I'm just, now he's just my example because I'm picking. But I just mean like I just never wanted to get twisted. I've been in these rooms with people. I have a grant. We're in our 6th year of a grant that is specifically, explicitly for Black trans women who are visual artists. Now, when they talk about the grant, everybody's like, yes, yes, that's what we wanted. Da, 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 da. When I was trying to get this grant, people was like, for Black trans women only. That don't make no sense. Like, okay, what do you mean Black trans? What if somebody's Latinx? I'm like, if they're Black, they can apply. I learned trying to get that grant. Don't nobody just want to support the girls. I had to advocate at every juncture. I was like, if we say this is for people of color, Black girls will not win. Y'all know that. I'm just saying it. That's been my whole life. Is everybody everybody gets mad at me for saying the thing that is the truth and is obvious. Y'all don't want to just support the Black girls. And that's where I came up with the Black girls standing up, saying, we're not fucking men, saying, put our names in these fucking reports when we're slain. That's the like we fighting for basic ass shit, not clout, not to be America's next top fucking tranny, like some of these people are online. Like that's why I'm always gonna go toe to toe with whoever because I know my why. I know why I came into this space and I know why I'm talking. It's because I love the girls and I want us to be able to live. Like just live. Like I don't even want us to have to be crusaders for change and liberation all the time. Half of us is doing that because there's a check involved.
Because as
That
soon as a
one
check ain't involved, baby, they
baby.
scheming and scamming and throwing their hands up and being done with the fight.
So it's just like, yeah, I keep reiterating that because I don't want nobody to see it and get it twisted. I love, the non-binary people are real. The people who, are risking whatever, I just, yeah, maybe I'm becoming old school. I don't know, but I feel like I come from a time where, bitch, the only reason we talking about it is because I'm looking like it. Because it's embodied. If it's not embodied, what are we talking about? Why are we even talking about this? Last thing I'll say before whatever the next point is. This also reminds me of this is a fun fact for everybody. I used to work at this burrito place, and I went to that job as the girl, like, and there was this gay white man who worked with me. Do you know this gay skinny white man with a beard and like hair, like white man hair and everything said, I'm just like you are. Like I'm trans too. I'm a trans woman too. And I was like, huh, you don't say. Because I never would have guessed. And I never saw them embody it, not once. It was never so deep in their body that it was worth the risk. I've been outside, I could have got my ass beat. It was worth it. But
But if you're not embodying it, baby,
why are we talking about
why are we
it?
talking about it? Okay.
Like, what is we even, girl? What? Go be great in your lavender, bitch. You're one of the lucky ones. You don't even look like it. Go have fun. You in the middle, and we gotta shut up. And I'm the one saying this little girl pointed out my fucking 5 o'clock shadow, and her mom said, "Baby, that's the man. Turn around." Like, fuck all of this bullshit. But I digress.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you. It's a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
what has been bringing you euphoria? What has been bringing you joy? What has been making you happy? What has been at the center of your joy this week?
Okay, well, I'm gonna be super gay and start off and say, well, this is a major sense of euphoria for me. I'm so happy that I got to chop it up with you. I'm so happy that it was organic. I have been looking forward to this. I didn't know what it was gonna give. I knew it was gonna be like cool because I mean, I've been watching you. I know I was like, I can keep with her. This is not gonna be an issue.
Period.
But I also I love that you pushed back. I love that you chat. This was a great conversation. I so appreciate being able to talk to people that are grown and that can have like conversations where we don't necessarily sit in the same place, but we can get our views and thoughts out. So this has just been, it's this. I was trying to think of something else, but it's this. I have been I have talked to all types of people, but it's something about the women who I have looked up to or watched personally that it just means so much to me. So I love this and I really appreciate you actually being willing to host me on your platform. It's definitely like a little notch in my own personal bit post because I'm like, wow, I just got to keep with Diamond Stylz on camera.
I
Um,
love that.
no, yeah. So this was it. I was nervous, but it was even better. And it's also it is giving me fuel to go forward. I think I don't take you lightly, you know. I don't take you being public lightly. I don't take how long I have been able to witness you lightly, you know. So it is fuel for me to be affirmed by you and other women that I have looked up to. Like it's fuel to keep going because to me, I'm in a place where I'm kind of standing more in alignment with what I really got to say and what I really want to bring. So it's affirming that when I'm in this journey that you're like, I want to host you. I want to host you on my platform. So this is great highlight for my week, but also fuel to keep going. Yeah, so I'll give that answer as gay as that was.
Uh, I appreciate that. And also I think that one of the privileges of white supremacy, patriarchal capitalism, all that stuff that bell hooks laid out uh
Okay.
in is they get the privilege of having so much representation. And I think for
Yeah.
us, we because it's so little that we have to be really it's like a we need more representation because it can't be just one of us out here saying what needs to be said and because it doesn't give you the breadth of our thought, the breadth of our
Yes.
leadership. And so for me, I think that I don't think we all have to agree. I think that we all are different perspective of the same issue, and I think that it is powerful. I think that all of us sharing our perspective and sharing, even the ones that I'm like, "Ooh,"
Right.
even those ones I think is powerful because it at least can be us having those kind of friction and sharpening moments
Yeah.
are allows us to share how we can still coexist. So people
Mhm.
like Angela Stanton and people like Jerome or people
Yeah.
like anybody can see how we can exist together, even though we may not agree all the time. And I think that
Mhm.
I think we need various perspectives, and I think that yours and uh, all the girls, I think it's dope to have it. I
Yeah.
think it's dope to have it, and I don't think we need to be thinking like every single one of us is the same. We have unique perspective, and we have the privilege of being a collective, and it's going to be different. It's going to be different. I think that's powerful.
Yes. Oh my God.
What brought me euphoria this week is my nephews.
Oh, yes, the
I spent
baby.
time with my nephews, and I don't know. I'm not a parent, so but to see my nephews, it's a certain level of pride that they're so smart and so they
Mhm.
know how to read because I
Right.
know. The literacy levels are dropping. The
She
fact
said,
that I
"Oh,
can
thank
put
God, not
something,
my baby."
I said, my babies can read. They can, you get what I'm saying? My nephew was, I
Uh-huh.
put something in front of him and he was reading it. I was like, oh,
Uh,
yes. Like, and just them being so, attentive and thoughtful and
oh, I love
just
that.
mannerable, just being
Hmm.
respectful, and just my brother and his wife is really raising them in a beautiful way. So I was just
I love
in
that.
awe watching them
Is this your
navigate.
little brother from your YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
I
His
was
his
like, this makes me so happy to hear.
yes, it's so beautiful. Um and even the fact that there was a moment where you know how when everybody is about to sit down and eat and the whoever's the host gives like the toast or saying pray for
Right,
everybody,
right,
however you the leader of the house. So here's my brother in the biggest house that any of us from our branch has ever owned.
hmm
Biggest house is beautiful, sprawling, amazing, and he's hosting this Thanksgiving, and he lets his son do the prayer. He's acknowledging everybody. Even in the moment he was like, this is a black ass Thanksgiving, even though we got, like his wife's mother is white, and just being
Okay.
unapologetically black in his
Right.
own house and his space. And that
Yes.
was just so beautiful to me. And just sitting back as a proud auntie and seeing how he's navigating the world with his family and being a good husband and being a good father. And it just seeing it and knowing that I had some type of
I
little
was,
bit.
I was just about to say. I was like, see what happens when the girls are in the picture. Like, look who you helped raise. These kids are gonna say, my dad was great, did this and was there and all of that. Like that's your legacy. That's over. That's over. Sitting in that house, I know your pussy felt so fat. Like, right.
Period.
Right.
And then him having a wife that is affirming. We
Yeah.
have deep conversations. She's just not like, oh, I'm tolerating my
Right.
husband's tranny sister. No, we have deep conversations, um and it's just beautiful. And yeah, it felt super cunt. It felt
Right.
so much pride in it. So that's what brought me euphoria this week.
Look, that just brought me a little too, because I'm like, I've been watching you forever. I'm like, I know your little brother is at the little cute moves. Okay, work.
So,
Oh, that's
Aaryn,
beautiful.
tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, okay. Hi people. You can find me primarily on Instagram at Aaryn Lang, and that's AARYNNLANG. Fun fact, my name has one N in it. The middle is because yeah, people keep calling me Aaron. I'm like, oh wow, that's actually not how you spell my name. But and next year, stay tuned. I have my own pod show thing coming. We are in development. So I will keep y'all posted. You can find that if you follow me on Instagram at Aaryn Lang, AARYNNLANG. Yeah, just stay up. You can find me on Instagram talking shit. You can support one of my clients, the Black Feminist Project. If you want to donate, they're at the Black Feminist Project on Instagram or blackfeministproject.com. If you know any Black trans women artists, let them know that our second or our seventh cycle of the grant is starting next year. So if they want to start getting their things together, they can do that. You can find that at queerart.com, queerartnyc.com if you want any information about that. But yes, Instagram is the best place to find me. And thank you so much for having me.
Make sure y'all thumbs up. Make sure y'all follow her. All those links are going to be down in the bottom. Thank you for listening, and we will see y'all next week. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's diamondstylz@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.